Black Lives Matter vows to redouble fight and defund the police as the movement marks its 10th anniversary. Black Lives Matter celebrated their 10th anniversary on Thursday by calling for a national day to mark the movement's inception. The criminal justice reformers vowed to redouble the fight for equality and left-wing political causes, including a renewed push to defund the police. Today is our movement's 10-year anniversary. The group called for July 13th to be formally designated as Black Lives Matter Day. 10 years later, our vision hasn't changed. Defund the police and invest in our communities. We are calling to make July 13th National # Black Lives Matter Day to honor the countless black folks who have been injured, attacked, murdered, and impacted by police and vigilante violence.
Tonight we have learned the name of the man arrested for shooting at a Louisville mayoral candidate. Police say 21-year-old Quintez Brown fired several shots at Craig Greenberg in his campaign office this morning.
This National Day, in conjunction with our 10-year anniversary, is a reminder that not only will our work never stop, but that it's constantly evolving. The Black Lives Matter chapter in Canada has been charged with a hate crime over an alleged incident that occurred at a Catholic school in Calgary, Alberta. What this movement's moment means is that we have to absolutely redouble our efforts and redouble our commitment to making Black lives matter.
Begin with that breaking news. Turmoil in the city of South Fulton. Mayor Khalid Kamau arrested and facing felony charges. Only our Fox 5 cameras were rolling as the leader in handcuffs placed in the back of a patrol car as he's taken off to the Fulton County Jail.
10 years in, we're getting a glimpse at what would happen if there were no Black Lives Matter.
This doesn't seem safe for us. This 990 structure, this nonprofit system structure, this is like deeply unsafe. Like this is being literally weaponized against us, against the people we work with. I can't tell you how many people are like, am I next? Like, are they gonna do this to me? So there's not a lot of, that's like, when you know this, you run an organization, like people's morale in an organization is so important.
Yes.
But if their organization and the people in it are being attacked and scrutinized at everything they do, that leads to deep burnout. That leads to deep resistance and trauma. And so I think that other piece for me around, what I think is important for people to understand is, and it's connected to this question, but there is a misinformation and disinformation effort to not just challenge Black Lives Matter and the organization, but it's an experiment. If they win, then it's the next Black-led organization.
Yes, it is.
God is exempt from this. If you live in Baltimore City, it could be your child next. That's right. That's how real this thing is. Yep, right. So we're asking you to bring your young men and your young women to us. Playtime is over.
Fathers in prison. Yep. Some of the fathers are in the street leading this madness. Right. And that children gotta see them. I gotta have kids with me and go around the corner so they won't see their father on the block slinging.
Don't be part of the problem by being silent. Being silent and on the sideline right now is part of the problem.
All us gotta hold each other accountable.
That's right.
All these mothers know that kids carry guns. All the grandfathers, mothers, uncles, cousins know they carry guns. I hold all y'all accountable.
Black lives only matter when somebody else is killing us.
We're not just going to fight when it's popular, but we're going to fight because we need to fight.
To date, Frances Walker's family is able to access her home on North Washtenaw.
I was in tears, but what can we do? See stuff everywhere, pictures of her when she got married and her brother. And just feel we miss her more.
While the family gathered momentum, one of Walker's tenants was in court, charged with killing Walker on Monday. Today, a Cook County judge ordered Sandra Kololu held on no bail.
As well as trying to make July 13th Black Lives Matter Day, the group called this week Defund the Police Week of Action. As we continue to push to defund the police, invest in black communities, and reimagine safety in our communities, we need our elected officials to focus on the people, not police. The safest places around the world don't have more police, more jails, more prisons, or harsher sentences. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm certain you've noticed that throughout me reading this, I've put in a few clips of some great moments from BLM to honor the history of this important organization and the legacy that they will leave behind when it undoubtedly falls by the wayside and a bunch of people will not care about them the next time they decide that Black Lives Matter. It is interesting to me as somebody who is 23 years of age, who just so happens to be black, and yes, as a black person, I have gotten the cheat code of having infinite white privilege, and I will always have infinite white privilege. It is interesting, at least to me, that I had to see this organization from the ground up as a child, now to an adult, do nothing but say, hey, this is a problem, we're not going to do anything about it, and for some reason, we're going to get $9 million or even more, if I have my numbers correct, from white guilt money and do nothing with it other than feed our own pockets, buy mansions, including a content creation house, still a bit pissed off about that one, and ultimately not help the black community unless it has something to do with a police officer who happens to be white or a random white man, woman, or child. Because the only way your black life is worth the shit is if you are taken down by a white person. Because magically, for some reason, and I have not cracked this black ass code, if you mention me, a black person, losing my life at the hands of someone else, another black person, for some odd ass reason, that's a conservative talking point. And to anyone who still thinks like that, and you're mad at me because I just mentioned that, my response to you is quite simple. How is that a conservative talking point when the fucking phrase, the same one you want a holiday for, the same one you want a remembrance time to acknowledge the history that you've put forth the effort in, Black Lives Matter? Is it Black Lives Matter or Black Lives Matter when it's convenient? Because I'm a little bit confused and I want it specified. This organization has done a wonderful job in embarrassing any credence to what message they wanted to bring out. If your game was to say, we got all these issues in the black community, you need to fix them, and nothing's changed, at what point do you give up on trying to demand other people fix the problem and you fix the problem? I know, very self-helpish of me, but at what point do we acknowledge that the black community has a lot of problems in it that need to be solved in the community before we try to blame a bunch of white people for everything? It's at what point do we need to understand that there's an overwhelming amount of people who will, for some reason, side with someone who will just randomly shoot into people's homes and get mad at the potential victim for being upset about that, and we acknowledge that we got a lot of crime going on in our community. Do not tell me it's the fault of other people and the fact that some people are poor, because guess what? I'm poor and I don't go around robbing people in broad daylight. This organization does not deserve any day to celebrate the piss poor efforts that they've put into wanting to help the black community. They deserve to be continuously mocked, ridiculed, and criticized. And anyone who wants to say, I don't support the organization, I just support the words, you need to be doubly criticized, because you not doing nothing unless a white man makes you jump. And it's real funny how people will continuously try very hard to defend the words in the organization, yet their black community is riddled with a lot of people who deserve to be in jail. Not helped, but in jail. And the funniest part about it is, you can call me whatever you want. You can call me a bigot, you can call me anti-black, you can call me a coon, you can say any of these things. What you cannot say to me, which would be an insult to me, is that I support Black Lives Matter, because in doing that makes me somebody who's a hypocrite, will only make me jump when the white man jumps, because that's all I see a bunch of people doing. And if you're one of these white saviors who tries really hard to make it seem like you know everything about being black, you don't. And it's real sad and it's fucking pathetic how you try to fix your lips to defend an organization that conned you out of money and will openly have one of the founders saying, yeah, that was white guilt money. And to end this video, it is really sad how I have to repeat this again, but is it really weird to anyone else, or is it just me that an organization that claims to care about black lives won't give a fuck, won't march in the street, won't protest, won't demand justice unless your ass is taken out by a white person. And if you can't honestly answer that, here's one piece of advice. Get the fuck out my face.